Okay, it is that time of year again. March Madness starts tomorrow, guys, and it is time to pick our brackets. So let's go. So I already have two picks done on this one. It's Auburn and Duke, the number one seeds right here, just because I do not think that this year there's going to be any upsets on the number one teams in the first round, unlike a couple years ago with FDU. There might be, but I still don't think so. I think that NIL has closed the gap between a lot of these seeds, so we're going to see maybe a lot more upsets than we have in the previous years. I'm not sure yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. But I don't think that that's going to matter much when it comes to the 16 seeds, because I think that they're so far away from NIL in terms of the other teams that it doesn't really matter as much. But that doesn't mean that they can't win against them. It just means that that's not going to be as much of a factor as other teams, in my opinion. So I'm going to pick all the one seeds to advance to the next round. In this tournament. Hopefully I'm right, but if I'm wrong, well, so be it. The first game of the year, though, tomorrow at 12 o'clock is Louisville versus Creighton. Anywhere you look, Louisville is very, very, very underseeded. Like, they are a top 10 team, according to the AP poll, so they should be a lot higher than 8. I think Louisville's going to have a chip on their shoulder, if that's what you call it. I think that they're going to play really hard against Creighton. Creighton's going to play hard too, but I think Louisville just will have them in this round. Then again, I have not watched a minute of college basketball this season. Michigan, UC San Diego. This is a big one. I've been hearing a lot of people talking about this one, like a big thing. A lot of people are thinking that this could be some big upset here for Michigan and UC San Diego. Now, I don't know much about either of these two teams. I don't know much about any of these teams, to be honest. But let's just look at the statistics really quickly. Michigan 25-9. I've seen a lot of people pick this upset, so I think it might just be too big of one to do. But then again, you never know. I'm going to probably go with Michigan, only because for this next game here, Texas A&M versus Yale, I really want to pick the Bulldogs for this one. Now, if you watched March Madness last year, you saw them beat... Who did they beat last? They beat someone good in the first round, and I think that they can do that again. They have a good senior this year. I forget his name, and I think that he might be the star of the show for Yale. Miss in North Carolina. This is the one I was talking about here. North Carolina, they're going to win against Ole Miss. I don't remember. They were stomping, who was it, San Diego State? I mean, they were just stomping them. Absolutely stomping them. It wasn't, like, close at all during during the game at all. So, very surprising there for UNC, but not too surprising here. I am going to be confident in them winning at least one more game in the tournament. So I'm going to pick them. Iowa State versus Lipscomb. I've also heard that this one is a big upset pick too. Lipscomb with 9 losses. I'm not going to pick them for this one. I don't know too much about them though, so I'm not going to be upset if they win. But I don't know too much about them. I'm going to pick Iowa State for this one because they're a 3 seed. That's why. Marquette versus New Mexico. Hearing a lot about this one. This one could go either way, probably. I'm just going to flip a coin for this one and say it's going to go with... I guess I could look a little bit in the stats. 23-10, 26-7, Mountain West, and they're on Big East, right? Big East basketball is really good this year. I'll talk about that later. No more results. Where's Purdue? They beat Purdue. They beat UCLA. They lost to St. John's by a good amount. I mean, I'm gonna pick the Aggies for upset here. That's all I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna pick Michigan State here. Bryant's not gonna win against Michigan State. I do not think so. If Doug Edert was still on Bryant, then I would maybe have picked Bryant. But because he's not there anymore, unfortunately, I'm gonna go with Michigan State for this one. Now for the West, let's start off with number 1 seed Florida. It's gonna easily advance against Norfolk. Number 1 seed Florida can easily advance past Norfolk State. I don't think I'm pronouncing that right at all. Norfolk. Oh my God, Norfolk State. Okay, I can't talk today apparently. Jesus Christ. Well, good thing I don't have to mention them anymore because I'm picking Florida anyway. So I have Florida there. Now, UConn, Oklahoma. I'm gonna pick UConn. last 2 seasons. I think UConn is going to be different in the tournament. They always are. I do not think that they're going to be one of these teams that loses in the first round, no matter if they're an 8 seed or not. I think that they're going to win against Oklahoma pretty soundly. That's my guess. That's my take. They're going to beat Oklahoma by a good amount, so I'm going to pick UConn for that one. Memphis versus Colorado State. This is also a big upset one, but I'm going to go with, let's see. I'm going to go with Colorado State. Go with Rams. I like the Rams. That's what I do. I like the Rams. So I'm going to go with the Rams. Now, Maryland versus Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon has only a few losses, 7 losses. Maryland has 8. What are they in the Big Ten? Where are they ranked? Let's see. College basketball rankings. Let's see the rankings. Not the rankings. Standings for the conferences. Whoops. Standings. America East. I wanted Big Ten. Come on. There we are. I think number 2, 8. And then what are these guys in? They're in. What conference are they in? Let's just look it up, I guess. I don't know what conference they're in. I can't type either. They are in the Western Athletic, and they were second, so they might have won their tournament, though. Yeah, they definitely won the tournament. None of these teams look very good, so I'm going to go with Terps here. So I'm going to go with Missouri versus Drake. This is a big upset one. A lot of people are talking about this one, talking about the Drake Bulldogs. I never liked Drake. Every time I pick them, they've lost, so I'm not going to pick them, so they're going to win. Texas Tech versus UNC Wilmington. You know what? Never mind, I'm not going to pick UNC Wilmington for this one. I don't like them. I don't think so. Oh, maybe. What conference are they in, and who do they play? Let's see. Wilmington basketball standings. Hofstra, Dexter. You know what? What about Tech? They're in the SEC, right? Are they not? Yeah, no, they're not. Are they not? Oh, no, they're in the Big 12. Shit. I'm so stupid. I don't know anything about sports, guys. Oh, no. They're second in the Big 10. Oh, they got some good teams here. I might go with Tech. I'm going to go with Tech. No upset in this one. Give me Arkansas. Kansas has fallen off a lot. And give me St. John's. I love the Johnnies, and I love the Godfather. All right, now let's go to the Midwest. Houston, easy win. Gonzaga versus Georgia. This is a big one. A lot of people are talking about it. Could be a big shaker up. I don't know what the percentages for each one, but it's a pretty close one, I think. But I like the Bulldogs. They are more experienced in the tournament. Their coach is a lot more experienced in the tournament for sure. Georgia is, I think, the better team if they play right and they play to their best. But I don't know if they're going to. So that's the question, is if they can play to their best and if they're going to. But I'm going to give me the Zags for this one. Give me the Zags. Yeah, the Zags. So I have a 9 seed. I want to make sure I have at least one 9 seed that's beating them. Yes, I'm going to have Baylor winning here from the East. We'll talk about them later. Clemson versus, a lot of people are picking McNeese. I like McNeese's general manager. This guy's awesome. What's his name? This guy. He's super chill. This guy. He's awesome. I like this guy. And I think that he might win the game for McNeese. Or McNeese, even if, is it McNeese? McNeese? I think it's McNeese. I think that he's going to win the game for McNeese just with his aura alone. But Clemson is really good, and they can go far in this tournament too. And last year, Gonzaga they whooped them, and they were the same seed. So different teams, I know, but give me Clemson. Give me the Tigers. Go Tigers. Purdue versus High Point. Big upset one too. A lot of people are picking High Point for this one. Should I pick High Point? 5 losses versus 11 losses. Purdue, known for losing. Big upsets. Either picking Purdue or I'm picking Kentucky. Which one should I pick here? This is a good question. I'm not sure. I'm thinking High Point has a better chance of beating Purdue than Troy does Kentucky. So I'm going to pick High Point to win this game, and I'm going to pick Kentucky to win that one. Texas versus Xavier. I'm going to watch this game tonight to see who wins that one and who does better. If they do a good performance, either the teams or whoever wins, I might pick them to win. But as of right now, I'm going to pick Illinois. I like Illinois. Now, down here, I like UCLA. Big UCLA fan. I was never smart enough to go there, but it's okay. I still like them at heart. So I'm going to pick UCLA. Tennessee versus Wofford. I'm going to give me Tennessee pretty easily. Now let's go up here to the east. Duke, I'm going to have them winning in the first round. Mississippi State versus Baylor. I'm going to have Baylor winning. My name VJ Edgecombe, I think, is going to have a little redemption arc in the tournament. I hope that Cooper Flagg is healthy. I think he's healthy. I think that's what they said. He's going to be healthy and he's going to play the tournament. If they said that, I'm going to have high expectations for Duke. I probably shouldn't, though. Always ends up choking in the tournament, even though they have a different coach, different team. It always happens for Duke. So I'm not going to be super happy about that. pick. I'm going deep in the tournament. I'm going to pick them advancing for the first round. Oregon versus Liberty, another big upset one, but I'm going to go with Oregon for this one probably. Let me look. Oh, another one. How many 5 seeds do I have losing? I have that one winning. I have this one losing. I have this one. Alright, I'll probably do 2 5 seeds losing. Does that happen often? I don't know. Yeah, it's happening today. It's happening this time. This one might be not 13 seeds. Probably not. No, I don't think so. BYU. I think BYU is going to be winning that one. I think BYU is doing good with their basketball program. I've watched some video on it. Whose it was, but I'll put the link in the description. But it talked about how good they were doing and how they're using a lot of tactics to make their team the best that they can possibly be. Not that it's #1 team or anything, but it's clearly worked in the past few years from what they were a few years ago and what the record was a few years ago. So I think that they're going to be confident enough to win in the first round against VCU. So I'm going to have BYU advancing there. There's Montana. Could be a sleeper pick for Montana. They're both 9 losses. One's in the Big Ten. Montana's from, I want to say, the Big Sky. All right. No, Montana's. Yes, they are from the Big Sky. Yes, I was right. Let's go. I know basketball. Let's go. So I'm going to pick. I don't know any of these other teams there, so I don't think Wisconsin. Well, actually, I do know something about Wisconsin. I know that Penn State, a team that's very shitty in basketball this year, beat them earlier, a few weeks ago. So I think they're vulnerable. I think that they are. I think that if Montana plays to their abilities, they could do it. Should I have Montana or no? I don't think I like that pick. Should I go with Montana or not? I don't know if I like 2 13 seeds in the first round. I've picked a lot of upsets already. I think that I'm going to keep 3 Wisconsin. That's probably what I'm going to do. St. Mary's, Vanderbilt. A lot of people are picking Vanderbilt. St. Mary's always loses in the first round. I do like the from West Coast Conference. I like the West Coast Conference. I think that they're better. No, I don't think they're better than the SEC. Apparently, the SEC is the best tournament or the best conference in basketball in a long time. They're the most complete ever. So I'm not going to say that the West Coast Conference is better. But I like the Gales. I like the Vanderbilt people better. So I'm going to go with the Vanderbilt people. Alabama's going to win against Robert Morris. No 15 upsets this time. I don't think. If there is one, I think it would be Robert Morris. So I might actually do a little bit of research into Robert Morris. Who is that? That's not what I was trying to look up at all. Oh my god. Okay. Horizon League? Any of those teams. Oakland! We know Oakland from last year or the year before. We know Oakland. So I think, give me Robert Morris upset. Fuck it. Give me Robert Morris upset tomorrow. It's happening. Because, here's why I'm going to pick them. Because even if Alabama wins in the first round, I think that an Alabama versus Vanderbilt game in basketball, Vanderbilt's going to win. Just like they did in football. That's going to be my prediction. So I'm going to pick Vanderbilt to the Sweet 16 in that one. There we go. Now, Duke versus Baylor. VJ Edgecombe, I think that he's too raw right now. I think that Duke is the more complete team. I do not see Baylor winning against Duke at this moment, but that could change depending on how good each team plays in the first round. I'm not too sure yet. But I think for now, I'm going to pick, not for now, I think I'm going to pick Duke to win this one. Now we got Liberty and Arizona. Give me, is Love still in Arizona? What's his name? Or is that his name? What's his name? No Love, Arizona. I don't think that's his name. Yes, Caleb Love. Yeah. It's still there. He still play at UNC. I think that Love's good. I think that he's definitely going to get to the Sweet 16. I think he could even beat Duke. Because Duke just always seems to not make it far. That's what I've learned in the tournament. So, we'll see. BYU versus Wisconsin. Give me BYU winning that one. Yep, BYU. I like BYU better than Wisconsin. Wisconsin looks vulnerable. So, I think that they're going to lose that one. Let's go down to the Midwest. Houston versus Gonzaga. Give me Houston from there. Probably, yeah. There's High Point. Probably going to have Clemson advancing that one. Don't know much about High Point. Don't know if I trust them to go that far in the tournament. But I could be wrong. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. Illinois versus... I don't know much about Illinois. So let's see. Both pretty close records. Could go either way here. Let's go with Illinois. That's what we're going to do. UCLA versus Tennessee. Yeah. I don't know. They might be able to do it. I'm not sure. They beat Arizona. They lost to UNC. That's an ugly loss. Alright, I read their little analysis overview. I don't think I like them going past the second round. So I'm going to go with Tennessee here. Now, let's go over here. St. Johnny's this season. They're doing really good. The Godfather. He's going to take them far this year. Now, Missouri versus Texas Tech. Let's see. Give me, you know what? Give me Missouri. I've heard that Missouri's dangerous and that they can do a lot of damage in the tournament, but I've heard that about a lot of teams, so I don't know. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I'm probably going to be very wrong come tomorrow. Let's go up a little bit. Colorado State versus Maryland. Gonna go with probably Maryland. Don't know much about the Rams past the first round. UConn versus Florida. I like Hurley. I think that he's gonna make his players play to their best ability in the tournament. He always does. They always excel. They always play better than they did in the regular season or the conference tournament. They always do. The Big East is a very good conference. They're one of my favorites, all right? I love Big East basketball. I think UConn can upset Florida here. I do know Florida's a good team, number one, sure, but I think UConn can upset them. I think they can. I think that they will. So that's my take there. Now let's go up here. Auburn versus Louisville. Louisville's a top 10 team. Auburn is good. Let's look at their biggest wins, notable wins. They beat Houston. Auburn did. Auburn beat Houston. Auburn beat UNC. They lost to Duke. Beat Tennessee. They lost to Florida. They beat Alabama. Then they lost to Alabama. What about Louisville? Lost to Tennessee. Lost to Duke. Lost to Kentucky. Won against UNC. Won against Clemson. Won against Pitt. Against Clemson. Lost against Duke. What did Auburn do against Duke? They lost against Duke, too. By how much? Quite close. Beat the number one team. Can Louisville do that? Probably go with the Tigers for that one. I want to see Yale make a run here, but I don't think they're going to if they play Michigan. I think Michigan is too complete of a team. I think that if they win the first round, Michigan's going to be too hot, and they're not going to lose the second round. They're going to at least make it to the Sweet 16. So I'm going to have Michigan winning that one. Sorry, Yale. UNC versus Iowa State. Could see this one going either way too. I really could. I like 11 seeds. 11 seeds are always dangerous in the tournament. I like 11 seeds. I could see them beating Iowa State. I very much could. Will they? I don't know. I'm going to probably go with my gut. My gut says no. So I'm going to go with no. You're down here. New Mexico, Michigan State. Michigan State. Tom Izzo reference. Okay, I got to stop talking. All right, Auburn versus Michigan. Let's see. Michigan best wins versus Purdue versus Maryland versus Wisconsin. They're pretty strong. I can see them. I don't know if I can see them beating Auburn. I don't know what I feel about Michigan. Can they make the Elite Eight? Let's see. I don't know. But I'm gonna pick Izzo to go to the Sweet 16 or to the Elite Eight. I'm gonna pick Cougs to go to the Elite Eight as well. I'm going to pick Caleb Love. I'm going to go against my judgment and pick Caleb Love just because I Duke. I just don't like them. I don't think that they're good in the tournament. I think that they always find a way to choke. I just do, just from what I've watched so far, from what I've seen. So I'm not going to go with Duke. Auburn versus Michigan, though, I am going to go with Auburn for this one. Now let's go down here. UConn versus Maryland. Is Dan Hurley going to go to the Elite Eight again? Where's Maryland? Let's look at the previews here. All right, I'm going to go with UConn. I like UConn. I think that they're a good tournament team. I think they're one of the best tournament teams in the country right now. That's my hot take. So I'm going to go with UConn to go to the Elite Eight. St. John's, I'm going to go with them too. I like the Big East. I like them a lot. How many Big East teams do I have in the Elite Eight? Just them, right? I hope. Yeah, that's a good amount. Houston versus Clemson. We'll talk about that in a minute. Illinois versus Tennessee. Let's see. I have like wins against tournament teams. Illinois does. Look at that. Ew, I don't like that. I don't know if I like them winning against them. Yeah, I shouldn't have them winning against Kentucky because I don't know if they're even going to win against them. I don't know who they're playing. Probably shouldn't have them winning against Kentucky in the second round. I'll probably have Kentucky winning against that one. But I would love to see a UCLA and Kentucky matchup again. That'd be awesome, but not going to happen. I'm going to probably pick... If they're good teams, have they played each other? Kentucky beat Tennessee. They beat Tennessee twice. Give me Tennessee. Obviously, they're not going to win 3 times. They're not going to three-peat them. Right? They're not going to three-peat them. I doubt it. No. Ooh. Houston versus Clemson. Number 1 seed? Give me number 1 seed. How many do I have? Just 1, 2. That's good. All right, 2 Tennessee. Give me Tennessee to the Final Four. Whoa. Well, I don't know anything about college basketball. They look good. I think that they're good. I watched a couple of their games actually in the SEC tournament. They look pretty good. So I'm gonna go with Tennessee there. UConn versus St. John's. I think UConn's luck's gonna end out here. They haven't beat St. John's. I don't think they might. I don't think so. I don't think that they're going to. So I'm gonna go with St. John's here. 2 number 2 seeds. Now, number 2 seed and number 1 seed. What should we do here? This is a dilemma. I don't think that there's gonna be ones like there's gonna be one number 1 and 2. I don't think that's gonna happen. It's gonna be like a 3 and a 4, and like that's where I get confused by, and that's where I get confused with. Like, what did I do here? If I pick, like, for this one, I'm going to probably pick, like, Arizona to the Final Four. I'm going to pick Arizona to the Final Four. I like that. But I think, give me the Cougs. I think that they're going to be the sleeper team to get into the Final Four this year. It's going to be BYU. And then I'm going to change. Wait, let me hear you look at this. I'm going to look at this again. Michigan has no wins against, right? Against Purdue, against Maryland, win. It depends how bad they play. If they play a good game, if they play a bad game, anything could happen. So, what's going to happen? Michigan's going to win that one. And it's going to be a Michigan versus Michigan State Elite 8. And it's going to be a clash. And who's going to win on that one? I think if Michigan's hot, they could make the Final Four. So, I'm going to pick them. Here's my Final Four. That's what it is. Boom. Take it to the bank. Let's see how long it takes. Look, Michigan, look, okay, so what's going to happen? If Michigan wins their first game, I am very confident that they can make it to the Final Four. But it's just the first game and I'm not nervous about. I think UCSD could win against them, which is why I'm nervous putting them in my Final Four. But I like this look. 2 number 2 seeds and then a 5 and a 6. I think that that's good. I think that's smart. I think it has a lot of... so I like that for my Final Four. Now, who's going to win each matchup? Michigan for St. John's. I love the Godfather. I love Rick Pitino. That's his name, right? I hope so. I love him so much. He's a GOAT coach. Want to pick him with all my heart. I don't think Michigan's going to make the national championship. I think this is where their run's going to end. But I could be wrong here. I don't know. I really don't know. It could go either way. But I don't know. But I was looking at some of the statistics, and it was like the Final Four teams in the past few years. All of them had like statistic in common, and St. John's didn't have that in common. But most of these teams that I picked, I'm pretty sure did, or most of them did. So I'm not sure if I like that. I like the Johnnies winning it all this year, but I want them to win it all. I really do, but I don't know if they're going to. Tennessee winning it all, I don't know if I like that either. I think I already have them winning it in one of my brackets. BYU winning it all, I don't know if I like that either. So that's the thing, though. But anyone could win, though, so it's really just confusing. You know what I mean? It's like I pick here. What if I go with? Alright, I figured it out. I thought about it long and hard. See, this is where it gets difficult. Because now, it's all teams that I don't know. You start thinking about it. Can any of these teams realistically win the national championship? And would you be surprised if they did? The Nets, would I be surprised if BYU cut down the Nets? Yes. I would be surprised if Michigan. I would be surprised if any of these teams. I would be surprised if a miracle for any of these teams to make it, no matter if you're 1 seed or 16 seed. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So I'm just going to go with what I think is going to happen, which is what I've done so far. So I'm going to go with St. John's winning against Michigan, and I'm going to go with Tennessee winning against BYU. And I'm going to go with, against my best judgment, and probably a lot, dozens of people have picked this team to win it all, to cut down the Nets. But I don't really care. I don't care if everyone in the world picked this team. I'm going to pick them. I like them a lot. Give me Tennessee. I like Tennessee a lot. I actually love them. So I like Tennessee a lot. Tiebreaker. How many total points will be scored in the national championship game? It doesn't really matter because I'm not going to win that tiebreaker. But I'm going to guess. 163. 163. That's what I'm going to do. There you go. That's my bracket, guys. I will go down. There it is. This is the miracle bracket. This is the bracket that's going to win the $1 billion. It's happening. Mark my words. Book it. You saw it here first. It's happening. All right, let's submit it. Make it official. Can I name my bracket? Yeah, I already made a bracket, but this is my main one. How do I name it? I guess I have to go up and name it. Where is it? Settings. Name your bracket. I'm going to name my bracket. This one is winning it all. There we go. This one's winning it all.